Thank you for tuning in to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show on We Are Hotline, and welcome back to another exciting feature of people who are making positive changes in the world, transforming lives one story at a time. We have another amazing individual on the line with us today. She is from the Ottawa region of Canada. She's out of the capital city of Canada, and she is a minister and a social worker with adults with mental health issues. Would you please welcome Tracy Charles to the show? How are you doing today, Minister
Hi,
Tracy?
Nikki. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you again for your time, and I guess we'll just get right to it. So if you can just let us know what your journey was leading up to what you're doing today.
Well, I'm originally from Jamaica, so I migrated here at the age of 12, and I grew up in Montreal.
Wow, that's my experience too. I was born in Jamaica. I grew up in Montreal too. Wow.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. Now we really need to talk offline.
Awesome. I'm sure we have some similarities in our journeys.
Yes.
But yeah, so I grew up in Montreal and pretty much went to French school, tough neighborhood, and just based on what I saw around me, Nikki, I just wanted a different life for myself, and I realized that opportunity was there, but I had to kind of reach for those opportunities. So earlier on, I really started working in my community by working at a camp, with kids who were on the street after school, didn't really have anything to do after school, and we would just hang out on the street, which was not really the best thing for us. So I got involved, and I started teaching a bit of dance and started working with my community there, and realized, this was something I was pretty good at. I was pretty good at connecting with my peers, and, that started me seeking a desire to work with people. And from there, I ended up in social work. So I studied in Vanier College, which you might know in Montreal. I got my college degree in Vanier in social science and went on to migrate into Ottawa in 1998 to complete my studies at the University of Ottawa in criminology and psychology. And from there on, I just kept pursuing. I had a young son too. I had a son at the age of I was pretty young, 20 years old, and I just wanted a better life for him. And so I kept pursuing higher education and kept working in the community. Now I'm a social worker, which is great. I'm doing what I love to do, and I'm impacting lives. I love working with young women, so that's what I'm doing right now.
So it's a great thing to give back to the community, but there's some parts to it in developing your character that it takes some time for that realization to happen. Like I'll give my own example. I've always been signed up to volunteer by my parents, probably from the time I was 5. So that's all I knew was to be, engaged in the community and that kind of thing. But I think as an adult, when you take stock of just your natural ability and your interest in people, I think it's a great thing, and it also drives it a lot faster to your purpose, right? And yours was a calling, in particular, a divine purpose. So can we talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we can. I was raised in the church. My mom was always in the church. However, there comes a time, you're raised in the church, but there comes a time where you have to figure out what that means for you and find your personal place in that. It's most of us in the Caribbean are raised with religion. So there came a time where I had to figure out where do I fit in the religion, or where that fit in my life. And so at the age after I had my son, I really started looking at my life and realized, okay, there must be a purpose to my life. There must be something more meaningful than this. And so I really tapped into, started personalizing my own fate and started seeking what that meant for me and how that applied to my life and my experience. And so that for me, tapping into that aspect of my fate and trying to find out what was my place in society. I always try to figure out what was my path, what is for me and not what everyone else is doing. And so I find that was a big shift in my life for me, and trying to get into that and learn more about that. And as I did that, things started falling into place. It just started evolving. And then when I gave birth to my daughter who had Down syndrome, that just transformed everything. And it really built my character. I mean, life was not always easy. As you know, your parents migrate and they come to make a better life for you, and you're left back home. So you go through things, and you're learning and you're developing struggles, and you learn to press through those struggles. So my character was built not only from my faith, but also from personal experience and life experiences.
Well, I think that's a very valuable thing to have, though, is experience, because I listen to a lot of people. I seek advice as much as people ask me for advice, but I find that people who've been there, done that, who are really solid in what they do, it's because they understand from firsthand experience, and what you've been through. I'm sure resonates well with people who are going through the experience or have been through the experience, because you can connect with them on a different level other than observing from the outside. So I think it's a valuable thing to have. Although you don't understand it when you're going through it.
No,
it's like, why me?
The why.
But when you're out of it, but when you're out of it, right, Tracy? It's like, oh, I understand why God put me through this.
Exactly. You get a full picture. You look back, and you could even get to the place of valuing the experience and gratitude. It's amazing when you're able to look back in retrospect. One of the significant points that changed me was when I had my daughter. I was 26 years old. And I just couldn't understand at my age, healthy young woman, why. And I felt I was doing well at the time. I mean, I felt I was a good girl. I was getting things together, and I had this baby who had this struggle that I knew was going to, had some struggles on her life, and I just couldn't understand that. And I went through the why me. But now she's 16, and I look back, and the value and the lesson and the growth, I wouldn't trade that.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And for those who don't understand what Down syndrome is, can you just quickly explain that to them, just to give them an idea of just the magnitude of how much energy it takes to manage a child with that disorder?
Yes, whenever you have a child with a disability, and it differs, but for Down syndrome is a genetic disability, and it varies across race and cultures, and they're limited. They come with a lot of usually a lot of physical effect, where they have heart problems. There's, closures. They're a bit shorter in stature, and their learning disability is impaired. So it varies. Brianna is pretty much mild. My daughter, she's pretty mild, but she definitely has a learning disability in the sense of learning is very difficult. Physically, I would say she's healthy, thank God. She's doing well. But it does take a lot, because for the first few years, you're dealing with the grief, you're dealing with the sorrows and the shame, and all that comes with it, whether you believe it or not. It does come. And it's a process. And it takes a lot on you physically, because there's a lot of doctor's appointment. There's a lot of check-in. There's a lot of therapies that go with it, occupational therapy, speech therapy. So it can be chaotic in the beginning.
Yes.
And so your process through the grieving, and your process through the shame, and your process through the disappointment really needs to give I wouldn't say the faster you go through it, the better equipped you are, but I think it makes you a better parent if you get through that piece quicker. Absolutely.
And your mission right now, working with people with mental health issues, adults specifically, how did you get into that, and how is that part of your passion work? It's so funny that after I was in criminology, and my intention was to go on to be a parole officer, and maybe down the road to be a judge. That was my passion. But when I gave birth to my daughter, it totally transformed everything. And so for a few years I was home looking at the diploma and wondering, what am I going to do with this? And so I started doing some volunteer in the school and working with children, with individual with disability and mental health. And my life just kind of geared towards mental health. I eventually landed a job over 10 years now with the Canadian Mental Health Association. Yes.
And the passion, just working with people who were struggling and seeing people who had everything, great education, great life, and just this one event in their life just kind of swept everything away from them, and just trying to grasp onto life again, and to be a part of helping them putting those pieces back together, to be a part of it's a rewarding experience for me. And I think definitely that was just a part of my divine call, because I definitely found my place.
Yes.
This is what I definitely found what I love to do and what I'm passionate. So just helping people putting those pieces back together, it makes me more grateful of who I am and everything that I have. Because it could go like this, Nikki, in a second,
Absolutely.
Things change.
Absolutely.
Things change.
Things do change.
Yes. And I see that every day. Every day.
Yeah. Wow. So your work then, the ministry, as well as the social work, tied in with the adults with mental health illness.
Yeah.
How do you balance it all? That's a lot of giving of yourself.
It is.
Like, what do you do for fun, some downtime?
It is. It's a lot of giving. I do serve in both aspects, in my career-wise, and I do in leisure. But you know what? I am so blessed. Typical Jamaican family. We're a big family here in Canada. We get together a lot, and we eat, we dance, a lot of social activity. I have a great family. My husband and I, too, we do a lot of music is a big part of our life. And,
awesome.
Yes, a lot of reggae, a lot of music, and we just dance a lot in the house and, and spend a lot of time with family. Sunday dinner is still a very big part of our culture, just getting together on weekends.
Yes.
We brought that with us from the Caribbean, and we haven't let, still very important to us. So it keeps me balanced, and I love to read. I do read a lot too, and for me, those are the main things for me, and those are the things that rejuvenate me.
Fantastic. Yes, we really need to talk offline, because the Sunday is always the, whatever you're doing, put down your phone, clear your calendar. It's got to be time with the family. And my mom makes a big ham, a pineapple ham,
exactly.
Rice and peas, the callaloo, and we sit down and we talk to each other, some at each other, but it's always that time where we sit aside. So it's a very important time to reconnect with the family. Yeah, fantastic. Well, Tracy, it's been such a pleasure chatting with you, and I can't wait to see you in just a couple of days. I can't believe it's so soon in Gatineau at La Creole Express. That's where we're going to be taping the Nikki Clarke Show live. And Tracy, you're going to be one of the fantastic guest personalities. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you then. You got to come down to Gatineau and really check out all the people who are change agents, who are really making positive changes in the world. So you've been listening to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show on Hotline Radio, and our special feature today is Tracy Charles out of the Ottawa region in Canada. She's a minister and social worker in the mental health capacity, and she works with adults, and she's a mother, and she's doing just amazing things and a great spirit. So connect with her, please. Where can people reach out to you?
You could reach me at Tracy, Tracy, Charles, Charles, at simpatico.ca.
Okay.
Did you get
excellent.
That?
And you're out of which church?
Operate out of the Ottawa Church of God.
Ottawa Church of God. Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We will see you soon. Thank you so much. You've been listening to Tracy Charles on the Nikki Clarke Radio Show. Everyone have a blessed day, and we'll see you in the next time.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Okay, bye.